what is that one key mistake that you think you've made in your career?
Yeah, I was often hyper optimizing for individual situation. That was one problem that I talked about is, I learned early that that's not very scalable. If you want to grow as a leader, you need to be able to replicate a system that everybody can rely on and have be predictable. So that's one. The second one, which is kind of, I, um, I agreed very readily with people. And sometimes, even if I knew what is the right thing to do, I shied away from expressing myself because I thought people in the room have many more years of experience than I do. And sometimes that intuition, especially in areas that you're really good at, you got to tap into that and express. And you know what? That in good companies, there is a lot of space. I did not realize that companies have a lot more tolerance for debate and discussions. And actually, there is no point working for companies and bosses who just do not have tolerance for your ideas and passion. That does not mean that anyone is obligated to implement your idea, but you should have enough and more space and data points to talk about it. So that's one. And the third thing, which I realized in a world where there is so much of data and there is so much of reliance to measure everything, there are few things, Gotham, that cannot be measured. And we often have a bias for thinking things are important that we can measure. Yeah. And then there are things that we cannot measure, and therefore we think that they're not really important. No. How do you even measure customer intimacy? Measure trust? How do you measure creative thinking? How do you measure soft skills? These are all incredibly complex subjects that if we are always looking for data points to prove every hypothesis, we may miss the mark. And I think that's going to be a really incredibly important aspect of being a leader in a world where you may not have data sufficiency for every decision.